The cargo bay of the stellar chorus hummed with the familiar rhythm of deep space transit. Arya Lorne adjusted her jacket sleeve for the third time in as many minutes, ensuring the dark fabric concealed the makeshift bandage wrapped around her forearm. The pain was manageable, a dull throb that she'd learned to ignore during her years hauling freight across the outer rim. What concerned her more was the color seeping through the gauze, a concerning shade that suggested infection. She couldn't afford a medical scan. Not now. The ship's Medbots would flag her injury, file an incident report, and corporate would ground her for mandatory recovery. 3 months without pay. 3 months watching her sister's medical bills pile higher while she sat idle on some sterile station. So Arya did what humans had always done best. She adapted, she endured, and she hid it. The Krell delegation had boarded at Station Tivos 9, a routine passenger transport that would net her enough credits to cover another round of her sister's treatments. They were an odd species, bipedal, covered in silvery blue fur, with wide eyes that seemed to catalog everything. The adults moved with careful precision, their elongated fingers dancing across datapads as they discussed trade agreements in their melodic language. But it was the cubs that fascinated Arya. 3 of them tumbled through the cargo bay like balls of animated fluff, their high-pitched chirps echoing off the metal walls. The youngest, Tivy, had taken an immediate interest in Arya, following her through her rounds with an attention that bordered on unsettling. The cubs' parents seemed unconcerned, apparently. Human crew members were still novel enough to warrant curiosity. Tivy, leave the human to her work. One of the adults called out in heavily accented standard. The cub chittered something back, but didn't retreat far. Arya forced a smile and continued her inspection of the cargo containers. Her arms screamed in protest as she lifted a scanner to check the seals. She bit the inside of her cheek, willing the pain away, willing her face to remain neutral. Tivy's ears swiveled forward. The cub approached slowly, head tilted at an angle that Arya recognized from dozens of species confusion mixed with concern. Tivy made a soft, questioning sound. "I'm fine, little one," Arya said, her voice steady despite the cold sweat forming on her brow. "Just busy. Lots to do." But Tivy didn't leave. Instead, the cub's nostrils flared, and those enormous eyes fixed on Arya's covered arm. Another chirp. This one higher, more insistent. The other 2 cubs stopped their playing and turned to look. Within seconds, all 3 were surrounding Arya, their small bodies tense with agitation. The adults noticed immediately. "What's wrong with them?" Arya asked, attempting to sound casual. "I didn't do anything." "Step back, human," the eldest Krell said, moving forward with surprising speed, his eyes a deeper blue than the cubs locked onto Arya's arm. "You're injured." "I'm fine. It's just a scratch." "You're bleeding." His voice carried no accusation, only statement. "The cubs can smell the infection. Your body chemistry is changing. They sense the corruption in your blood." Arya's heart hammered. "I can't afford a medical scan. I need this run." "My sister, your Medbots haven't detected this?" The Krell's ears folded back in what Arya had learned was their expression of shock. "I've been avoiding them." A moment of silence stretched between them. Then Tivy did something unexpected. The cub reached out with tiny, 3-fingered hands and gently touched Arya's sleeve. The chirp that emerged was soft, almost mournful. The eldest Krell's expression shifted. "My offspring is concerned for you. This is unusual. Krell cubs typically fear unknown species." He paused. "You've been in pain this entire journey?" Arya nodded stiffly. "It's not the first time. Humans are good at working through things. That is not strength. That is foolishness." "Maybe," Arya admitted. "But it's also necessity. I've got responsibilities that don't pause for injuries." The Krell studied her for a long moment, then spoke rapidly to the other adults in his native language. Tivy remained close to Arya, occasionally making soft sounds that almost resembled comfort. Finally, the eldest turned back to her. "On Krell Prime, we have a saying. The cub who ignores danger dies young, but the elder who ignores the cub's warning dies first. Our young have instincts we've sacrificed for intelligence. They sense things we cannot. He gestured to his datapad. I am Counselor Thieve. My delegation carries medical supplies, including broad-spectrum antibiotics compatible with human biology. We will treat your wound. In exchange, you will promise to be less foolish in the future. I can't pay. We're not asking for payment. We're asking that you value your life as much as my offspring apparently does. He knelt beside Tivy, who was still focused on Arya. Do you know why the cub acts this way? Arya shook her head. Because humans smell wrong when you're injured. Your species releases chemical signals that prey animals would recognize as weakness. But to Krell cubs, who evolved alongside herd creatures, it triggers a protection instinct. You smell like something that needs defending. Tears pricked at Arya's eyes, though she blinked them back. That's actually pretty amazing. Humans are remarkable in your stubbornness, Dev said, his tone softening. You endure what would break other species. But even the strongest metal fractures if it never receives maintenance. Within the hour, Arya's arm was properly cleaned and dressed with Krell medical technology. The infection that the Medbots had failed to detect because she'd carefully avoided them was already responding to treatment. Tivy watched the entire process, chirping approval when Arya winced, but didn't pull away. As the stellar chorus approached its destination, Arya found herself sitting with the cubs, who had apparently decided she was now part of their collective responsibility. Tivy curled against her good side, a warm weight of trust and unexpected friendship. Your sister, Theviv said quietly, approaching with a data chip. Here are the contact codes for Krell medical initiatives. We have programs for species suffering from rare genetic conditions. If her ailment qualifies, treatment could be provided at minimal cost. Arya stared at the chip, then at the counselor. Why? Because a cub trusted you. And in Krell culture, the instincts of the young are sacred. He smiled, showing small, neat teeth. Besides, humanity has a reputation in the galaxy. Stubborn, reckless, enduring beyond all reason. But perhaps what you need most is to learn that strength doesn't mean suffering alone. As the ship docked and the Krell prepared to depart, Tivy chirped a goodbye that needed no translation. Arya touched her properly bandaged arm and felt something she hadn't experienced in months. Hope. The galaxy was vast and often cruel, but sometimes, just sometimes, instinct proved wiser than pride.